You know that feeling, right? It's Monday morning, you're totally fired up, ready to change your whole life, and then by Wednesday, that fire is completely gone. Why does that keep happening? Well, we're gonna get into it. This isn't just another pep talk, it's a wake up call, really. We're about to show you why chasing that feeling of motivation is a trap and what the real key to making change actually stick is.
So let's just dive right into the big question, the one that probably got you to click play. Why does motivation always seem to disappear? You get that amazing burst of inspiration. You start off so strong, and then, poof, it's just gone. It's this super frustrating loop that makes you feel like you're the problem. But here's the thing, it's not your fault. There is a very real, fundamental reason this happens, and we're about to break it all down. Okay, this slide right here, this pretty much sums up the whole thing. Look on the left, you've got motivation. It's like a sparkler, you know? Super bright, really exciting for a second, and then it's gone. But over on the right, you have consistency. And that's a steady fire. It might not be as flashy, but man, it gives off warmth and light for the long haul. The entire mental shift we're talking about is right here. We've got to stop chasing sparks and start building a fire. So that brings us to our first big idea, the motivation trap. And the truth bomb is right there in the subtitle. Feelings don't build futures. Because at the end of the day, motivation is nothing more than a feeling. This visual is just perfect. Think about it. Motivation is a balloon. It gets all pumped up, it looks huge and impressive, but it's filled with, well, nothing but air. And the second life pokes it with a little bit of stress, or maybe you just have a bad day, pop. It's a total sugar rush for your brain, a quick high that's guaranteed to leave you crashing with no way to keep the real effort going. All right, so if motivation is the trap, what's the way out? This brings us to the real game changer. And listen, there's no secret formula or magic pill here. It literally all boils down to two simple, practical ideas that actually work to build the future you want. Okay, so the first one is consistency. And the definition couldn't be simpler. You just show up. That's it. Whether you feel like it or not. It's not about waiting for the mood to strike. It's about completely separating the action from the emotion. That's the unlock right there. And the second piece of this puzzle is discipline. Now, I know a lot of us hear that word and we immediately think of punishment or restriction, but let's completely reframe it. Like the slide says, discipline is just about keeping the promises you make to yourself. It's really an act of personal integrity. It's you proving to you that your word actually means something. Theory is great and all, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, this section is all about the power of just showing up, and it's told through a story that I think a lot of us are going to find pretty familiar. That endless cycle of, okay, for real, I'll start tomorrow. For the person in this story, and maybe for you too, this was the turning point. This one single thought. Motivation won't save you, habits will. It's such a simple idea, but it's a huge shift, right? It's moving from waiting for a feeling to building a system. And that is the difference between spinning your wheels and actually getting somewhere. So how did this actually play out? Well, he started incredibly small. And after 10 days, as you can see, there were 0 visible results. It felt slow, pointless even. But then, by day 30, everything had shifted. And what's so wild is that the progress was happening the entire time. It was just invisible. Every small action was literally carving new pathways in his brain, making the new habit more automatic. The change was happening long before he could actually see it. And this right here, this gets at the biggest enemy we all face when we're trying to build new habits, our own impatience. We expect to see progress right away, but real growth is kind of like a bamboo tree. Most of the work happens underground, in the roots, for years before you ever see it sprout. The most important changes are the ones you can't see. This chart just lays it all out perfectly. That big, tall bar, that's the Sunday gym guilt attack. You know, that one massive burst of effort to make up for the whole week. It feels super productive. But just look at what happens when you spread that effort out. Those small daily workouts, they don't feel heroic at all, but their combined effect over time absolutely dwarfs that one single burst. This is the incredible power of compounding in action. And it all leads to this one simple but really powerful truth. Success is not built in a day, but it is built daily. It's a process, not some big event. It's about laying one brick as perfectly as you can every single day. So this brings us to our next big idea. And I know this one's going to sound a little weird at first. Discipline is freedom. We are about to completely flip how you think about that word. Forget about restriction. We're going to explore how discipline is actually the ultimate path to your own personal freedom and self-respect. And this is such a critical point. We're all taught to think that discipline traps us, that it limits us, but it does the exact opposite. It frees you from the things that are actually holding you prisoner. That heavy feeling of laziness, that nagging voice of guilt, and that awful burden of regret. So how does this turn into confidence? Well, it's a really simple 3-step process. Step 1, you start keeping promises to yourself, even small ones. Step 2, every time you do that, you build real earned self-respect. And step 3, that self-respect becomes the rock-solid foundation for unshakable confidence. You know, the part that really made this click for me was realizing confidence isn't some personality trait you're born with. It's a skill you build.
All right, we've covered a lot of theory. Now it's time to put it into practice. This last section is your 7-day challenge. It is time to stop thinking and start building some real momentum.
And remember, the goal of this challenge is not to feel motivated. The goal is to create momentum. See, motivation is like a push that eventually runs out. But momentum is like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but it builds on itself. All you have to do is take that first tiny step, then the next, and let the physics of progress take over. So here's the challenge. And notice how simple and small these are. You are not trying to change your entire life overnight. You're just picking one of these to do for the next 7 days. The goal isn't to read a whole book or to run a marathon. The goal is just to prove to yourself that you can show up. And the rules are simple, but they are absolutely non-negotiable. You do it every single day for 7 days. No excuses, no breaks. And this isn't for anyone else. This is an investment in yourself, in your own integrity. This is for you.
As we wrap up here, let's just come back to this one central idea. Motivation is a spark. It's exciting, yeah, but it's gone in a flash. Consistency, that is the fire. That's what gives you warmth and light and power day in and day out as long as you choose to keep tending to it.
So I'll just leave you with this one last question. Forget about chasing the next shiny spark of motivation. Instead, just focus on adding one tiny little log to your fire, that one habit from the challenge, every single day. If you can just commit to that, if you can just keep your fire burning, just imagine what you could become.